Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Ferrante and today we're going to be talking about the design process. Let us quickly discuss each step of the design process and the one we will be focusing on for this video. Empathize. Empathize with users to gain real insight into their needs. Define. Define the core problems of your users. Ideate. Brainstorm and generate ideas to solve the problem. Prototype. Create prototypes in order to test and find the best solution. And finally, test. Test your solution with users and change based on feedback and results. Now that we've actually dove into the design process and the steps that follow in that design thinking process, now we're going to actually dive into ideation specifically for this video. And the theme for this video in terms of ideation is going to be surrounding chessboards and chess sets. An idea is a formulated thought or opinion. That formula consists of real-world experiences that we take in. For example, what you might see when you're at a friend's house or when you're browsing the web. These create thought processes in our head that form ideas. In relation to the design process, a great way of keeping track of ideas is to illustrate them via sketches and constantly asking questions. Here, I have ideation sketch made, accompanied by some pretty neat examples of metal chessboards I found through Google Images. When ideating, you have to start with the what. What am I going to make? What am I going to make it out of? In this case, it's a metal chessboard with nuts, bolts, and washers for the pieces. In my next video, on the materializing part of the design process, I will be discussing chessboards and chess pieces using wood. You notice in this sketch, I have included different types of information. I have been inspired by images I found online, and I have included material quantities and measurements. Something else I have included is questions. Can I implement magnets? This is something I can prototype and test after ideating. Sketching, brainstorming, asking other people questions and asking yourself questions, as well as just living life, allow for ideas to form and begin to toss around in our heads. Now that we've actually gone through the ideating process in terms of this metal chessboard and metal chess pieces, I'd like to now actually go through a little bit of the materializing component of the design process, just to give you a sense of going to that next step and the thought processes between ideating and maybe even just prototyping. I did say in the next video I would be talking more towards the materializing component of the design thinking process with surrounding wood chessboards and wood chess pieces. However, I'm just going to mention it briefly here and also towards the end of the video, just because I think it's appropriate to mention, because like I said, it is that next step from ideating to prototyping. Here I have a photo of what I would consider a prototype of the metal chessboard and chess set ideation that we just discussed, which I created. The chessboard was made with 18 gauge sheet metal, and the chess pieces were made with various styles of nuts and different sized bolts. The washers were welded to the bottom of the bolts to create support for the chess pieces. Instead of spray painting, I powder coated only the black squares onto the board. The white squares are actually the color of the bare sheet metal. I applied a glossy clear coat over top to prevent rust and chipping. It has yet to be mounted in a picture frame. When ideating, especially when creating physical objects, cost is a factor. This chessboard definitely looks different than the one I found through Google Images, but overall it's an affordable way of creating a classic game. It also doesn't look identical because along the way I was continuously ideating. That is what makes this a prototype in the end. There are things I'd like to add and maybe even adjust, but that is all a part of the design process. And there we go. Hopefully you have a better understanding in terms of the design thinking process from empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing. In this video we talked more towards ideating. We also touched on prototyping near the end, However, the main idea was to essentially talk about the ideation process in this video, and the touching on prototyping at the end was mainly just to see, okay, well, let's see how that next step actually translates. So applying those ideas to an actual physical product. And I thought that chessboard looked pretty good. Like I said, I would change a few things. However, that's the beauty of it. You can always make another. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.